So we're in one of your locations, which of course we can't give the actual address, but it's a beautiful building, very spacious. It feels very warm and cozy here. Lovely woodwork. How long have you been operating in the shelters in the area?
Actually, we are celebrating our 35th anniversary in 2012. So we are going to be doing a big campaign and a real big advertisement saying that we've been here for 35 years, which is a long time for any domestic violence agency. So it's awesome. Our shelter has been around so for that 35 years, and we really try to keep the feeling of our shelter into that home perspective. We want someone to come in and they're going to be welcomed. They're going to feel like they just stepped in. When I explain this to people, especially my volunteer courses and things like that, I say you're walking into kind of like a sorority. You're walking into a house that you're going to have that communal living, but you're walking into somewhere where you're welcomed, where you're comfortable.
Because it doesn't feel like communal living. It feels like I am in my own living room.
Yes.
Like when I walk in, I wanted to take my shoes off.
Right.
Because you feel at home.
Right.
How many shelters do you operate in some of the Medina counties?
We have 3 shelters altogether. We have a crisis center in Summit County, and then we have our transitional shelter called Step 2, and also in Summit County, and then we have a crisis center in Medina County. So we have 3 shelters at total that we serve, and at our crisis center we can sleep up to about 25 women and their families. Our transitional shelter Step 2 in Summit County can sleep up to about 40 people and their families, and then our crisis center in Medina sleeps up about 20 and their families.
When you took me around, I saw maybe 6 or so women and 4 children altogether. Is that are we at capacity in this particular shelter?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We have right now, I think at this current time, when I looked, we have about 10 women and about 6 kids all together. Of course, they're allowed to come and go as they please, so we don't keep them in lockdown. So, at any given time, you can walk into the shelter, and it could be at 25, and you may only see 2.
Okay.
So they may be at work, they may be, going out shopping, visiting family. So, we really try to keep that open and the flow there open.
So how do you logistically support a sudden influx of 25 people? How do you plan meals? I mean, is there a communal living to the point where they cook together? How do things work here in terms of truly supporting the day-to-day lives of the women?
Well, they live just like they would be living at home. So they're going to prepare their own food. They're going to have those. Now here at the crisis center, we may, we're going to stock the cabinets for them a little bit. We may have things in the refrigerator through donations through gracious people in our community. We're going to try to provide them that because, they're here. This is, the first stop. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable and that they are, getting what they need. So we may help them in regards to providing them with clothing. We may help them provide with any resources. We try to really get those to them here in the shelters. Now, when they go into Step 2, our transitional shelter, they're in a more of an apartment setting. So they may be in a private apartment by themselves or just sharing with one other family. So they're going to definitely be cooking themselves, and they're going to be definitely, taking care of themselves a little bit more than what they're expected here, because there is, of course, only one kitchen. So you kind of have to share the ground with everyone.
Women that may be suffering currently from abuse, how can they find the shelter? What number would they call?
Absolutely. Well, what would happen if you're in a situation, if a woman finds herself in a situation where they need access to an emergency shelter, specifically our battered women's shelter, what they would want to do is call our hotline. That number is 330-374-1111. Real easy. So again, 330-374-1111. And what will happen is they'll call in, they'll be talking to one of our staff, and they'll just get a simple intake in regards just to get their story, and that's really all the intake does. And then we'll go through the steps with them on how to get here. That's as simple as it is. So if you need shelter and you're in a situation where you need to get out because you're at risk, please just call that number and we'll walk you through that step. And that's for both Summit and Medina County. They can call that line and we will get them help whichever way we can.
You're not alone. You don't have to be afraid. There's support, there's shelter, there are services. There's a playroom if you have kids. And actually the rooms upstairs, when you took us on the tour, they're spacious. So it's very comfortable. Please definitely get yourself out of a dangerous situation.